It seems Apple's mega expansion plans in India have seen US President Donald Trump change his tone and make a major U-turn days after saying he does not want Apple to build iPhones in India.
I hear you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India. You can build in India if you want to take care of India.
Now Trump says Apple is free to go and build in India as long as it pays 25% tax to America.
He said he's going to India to build plants. I said, that's okay to go to India, but you're not going to sell into here without tariffs.
But despite Donald Trump's objections, Apple is expanding its India supply chain with its partner Taiwan's Foxconn investing another $1.5 billion in India. Apple's huge bet on India's economic rise is no surprise. The recent military victory over Pakistan has provided a sense of stability, while India has also surged beyond Japan to now become the fourth biggest global economy. According to the International Monetary Fund, India has now officially overtaken Japan and become the fourth biggest economy in the entire world. Niti Aayog Chief Executive Officer BVR Subramaniam asserted, quote, "We are a $4 trillion plus economy as I speak, and this is not my data. This is IMF data. India today is larger than Japan," unquote. This, as India's nominal GDP for fiscal year 2026 is estimated to touch nearly $4.187 trillion, slightly more than the GDP of Japan projected at $4.186 trillion. And as soon as 2027-28, India will then overtake Germany to become the third biggest global economy. Now, this national economic growth has led to improvement in living standards. According to a report by Incredible Asia, 90% people in India now have access to toilets and proper sanitation facilities compared to under 70% in Pakistan and just 50% in Bangladesh. Coming back to Apple's India ambition, on the 23rd of May, Trump seemed to take a major U-turn, allowing Apple to build in India, but also threatening 25% tariffs. From the Oval Office, President Trump stated, quote, "I had an understanding with Tim that he wouldn't be doing this. He said he's going to India to build plants. I said that's okay to go to India, but you're not going to sell here without tariffs. And that's the way it is," unquote. This apparent U-turn by Donald Trump comes amid reports that made in India iPhones with an additional 25% tariff would still be much cheaper than any made in US iPhones. Moreover, Apple is using India as its base for its global supply chain now. Yet a few days ago in Doha, Donald Trump surprised many people in New Delhi as he openly stated that he wants the tech giant to shift its supply chains away from India back to the United States. Trump had said, quote, "You are coming up with $500 billion, but now I hear you are building all over India. I don't want you to build in India. You can build in India if you want to take care of India, because India is one of the highest tariff nations in the world, so it is very hard to sell in India," unquote. Trump's comments came amid Apple's plans to diversify supply chains out of China. Given the ever-present US-China trade war for global economic supremacy, Trump wants Apple to boost domestic manufacturing in the United States, but Apple has also committed to long-term expansion in India, which it sees as one of its core global markets. So the big question is, will Apple be okay paying Trump tariffs? For Apple, it will still be lucrative and economically viable to manufacture iPhones in India even after 25% tariff because of the vast difference in labor costs. While assembling or manufacturing iPhones in India costs around $30, in the United States, the price goes as high as $390. In addition to this, Apple gets the benefit of production-linked incentive or PLI scheme on iPhone manufacturing in India from the Modi government. Moreover, if Apple were to shift production bases to the United States, its profit share per iPhone would fall from $450 currently to just $60. According to a report by CNBC, for Apple to move the manufacture of iPhones to the United States will be very highly priced and unviable for the tech giant. Varying estimates put the cost of an iPhone between $1,500 to $3,500 if they were made in the US, compared to about $899 for an iPhone 16 today. Apple currently makes very few products inside the United States. Speaking about shifting supply chains, a senior government official added, quote, "Companies that are as big as Apple make supply chain decisions after months and years of strategizing. One stray comment which discourages them from their move is not going to change the fact that they want to double down on production in India," unquote. Meanwhile, the Indian government has also approved a joint venture between Foxconn and HCL valued at $450 million for a chip assembly plant in Uttar Pradesh. The semiconductor plant will manufacture display driver chips for mobile phones, laptops, automobiles, PCs, and a variety of other devices. India presents a cost-effective, incentive-driven and geopolitically strategic environment for iPhone manufacturing. The Indian economy is the fastest growing among the global top 50 at 6.2% in 2025 and 6.3% in 2026. India contributes 15% of global iPhone production currently, which Apple now wishes to expand even further, with Foxconn, Tata Electronics, and Pegatron India all roped in. In fact, Apple revealed plans to make the majority of US-bound iPhones in factories located inside India by the end of 2026. In the 12 months ending March 2025, 1 in 5 Apple iPhones were made in India, accounting for $22 billion in revenue. This was a 60% increase compared to just last 1 year. An analysis by S&P Global revealed that Apple's iPhone sales in the United States was 75.9 million units in 2024. Meanwhile, exports from India in March alone equaled 3.1 million units. So are Donald Trump's recent remarks more reflective of his MAGA plan, or does he want to contain India's rise? Trump's comments threaten to throw a wrench into Apple's plan to import most of the iPhones it sells in the US from India. A move which could have been used to upstage China and then shift out its manufacturing base out of China due to trade-related uncertainties. As of 2024, the bilateral trade between India and the US stood at a record $118.2 billion, with India leading the trade with a trade surplus of $36.8 billion. Of the total trade in FY24, Indian exports to the US stood at $77.5 billion, while American exports to India stood at $40.7 billion. During Indian Prime Minister's visit to the White House in February, Modi and Trump also revealed Mission 500, which aims to propel bilateral trade to $500 billion, up from the current near $120 billion mark. If this happens, this will strongly align the economies of the world's two largest democracies based on shared principles of mutual benefits and fair play. India-US trade talks have also begun, with Piyush Goyal leading the Indian delegation to America. The phase 1 of the trade deal is expected to be finalized before the July deadline. So despite Donald Trump's comments, the tech giant is committed to expanding in India. But do you believe other global manufacturing titans will follow Apple and make India the new factory of the world? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.